Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently needing to be able to get more Kerbals into here, I think. How are we doing on life support here? We've got quite a bit, but getting more Kerbals into our colony would definitely be a good thing. So I kind of want to harvest this Mark 1 crew cabin out of here. Wondering how heavy it would be to move the pomegranate down to here and pull all of these bits off of the crew cabin. But that said, we've got a bunch of other things that we need to work on as well here. However, I also kind of feel like we're kind of reaching the end of this particular colony project, because we've largely learned what we need to know. This is things like, don't rely on the Stampatron ground anchor because it tends to float around and do nonsense like this. Instead, mount it on wheels or legs or just struts on the ground or something along those lines. Another thing that we have learned, drill-o-matic mining excavators are the way to go. So that's great. That's absolutely wonderful. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to warp forward a ways, and we are going to let our liquid fuel and oxidizer work its way up. Now, this is going to be a while, and the question is, how long do we need to let this work its way up to test this smelter? Well, the answer is we don't actually need to do that. What we need to do is we need to get this fuel tank over here. Heat? That's exciting. We've got some overheat going on these thermal regulators, and I'm not entirely certain why. Although if we turned off the drill-o-matic, it would probably be okay. But you can note how this drill-o-matic is not increasing the amount of ore. That's fine. I'm going to stop the surface harvester for now, and we should see these cooling down, in theory. I think that might have something to do with the warping more than anything. But here's what I'm going to do. Now that we've got some liquid fuel and oxidizer here, I'm going to start this metal conversion. Yeah, it's got efficiency now. So I think it was temperature related, because we know we have a lot of temperature built up here, right? So we're definitely building up some metal, and then if we go into here with our milling lathe, this is now operating, and we should be building up rocket parts. Now, we're storing up a lot of carbon dioxide here, which is fine, because we can, with our carbon scrubber, turn that into oxygen. Where's our carbon scrubber at? Yeah, here we go. So this is a carbon extractor here, and this converts carbon dioxide into oxygen. So that's absolutely wonderful. So our carbon dioxide will eventually fill up here, but we can see we've got some metal going on here. We've got some scrap metal. We can also do scrap metal converter like this. There we go. That looks great. And our carbon dioxide is going to fill up a lot. You can see we're definitely utilizing all of this, and we can start our surface harvester once more. And at this point, we are theoretically perpetually self-sufficient. Theoretically. What I want to do is I want to make sure that we have a part in here first. So we can see this productivity is still 0 at this point. So if we show this UI, we can see, oh my, that's awkward. So we can see we're still missing a pad here. And that's understood. So the selected craft would be the ComSat satellite at this point. If we wanted to choose a different craft, we could do this. We could just choose a part in theory, but this doesn't seem to actually work. Okay, yeah, so that's understood. So we can just make our craft that we want in the VAB. So as a hypothetical, for the ComSat satellite, this would take 149 rocket parts, right? Now, I think our primary issue right now is that we don't have a site. So that is absolutely a concern. We could bring one over just for testing purposes. But as long as we're able to craft something, I think we can consider this colony completed and largely abandon it and head on over to Duna at that point. So that's definitely very interesting. No doubt about that. Can see here that we are down a little bit on our food, which is surprising to me. This greenhouse container is apparently not actually... Well, it's oxygen full. Is the greenhouse container not supposed to make food and is supposed to make oxygen? Maybe. But I feel like it's supposed to make food. But our oxygen is currently full. So that's definitely an interesting consideration there. I'm checking in on the cooling levels of these guys. Yeah, so cooling is definitely going to be a thing. We're going to have to plan out our different wings somewhat differently than what we had here, which was just kind of YOLO, right? So that's understood. If we were to build this right now, would this bug? Possibly. Let's try it. It's doing something. 1.45, 1.46. Is this the amount of rocket parts? The amount of rocket parts is currently going up. So we're going to run out of oxidizer and liquid fuel eventually here. Well, it's going to significantly limit our production, right? So that's understood. There's only so much that we can produce here, but this is theoretically infinite at this point. We generate everything we need with the possible exception of food. Our food production is not necessarily ideal. I'm wondering if we want to stop the carbon extractor. Might actually be something we want to do. Okay, the greenhouse is no longer reporting that the oxygen is full. And yeah, food is definitely going up. So that's what we wanted then. Oxygen storage was the issue there. So we can see this is at 1.85, 1.86, 1.87, and it needs to get to 149. So that's going to take a while. And we're going to run out of oxidizer and liquid fuel as well. We're also going to run out of metal ore eventually, but this is a lot of metal ore that we have here. 240 currently. That's a whole lot of metal ore. So, hang on. I don't think this is actually making progress. I think this is indicating the amount of rocket parts we have. This number is the same as this number. So perhaps we need to accumulate the number of rocket parts first, which could be problematic considering we can only store 13.3 rocket parts. That would definitely be problematic. But if we were to activate one of these augers, that puts our metal ore positive. Okay, how are we doing on electricity? Well, we're actually neutral. So that looks fine for now. So the main concern at this point would be metal ore storage, right? Well, what if we were to cancel this build? We're currently tearing it down. Allegedly. But I don't know that we're actually making any productivity here. Now, I believe that our core issue here might be because we don't have a site. That's the current theory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to the Space Center, and just for testing purposes, we're going to just pop one over. So we're going to just put like an expandable rocket pad over there. We're going to cheat it there, to be clear, just for testing purposes. And we can drop it there, like, legitimately if this ends up working. But I'm not 100% certain that it'll end up working. So for right now, what I want to do is I want to go into exoplanetary launch pads here. This is a KSLP landing pad here. What I really want at this point, I saw an inflatable landing pad at some point, and that looked like that was about like what we wanted. Yeah, this guy. So if we were to deliver this, and you can see it opens to be like that. Okay, and it can store up to 4,000 rocket parts. So if we were to just put this out on the pad, And this would be something we'd have to deliver there, but I want to make sure that this is going to work before we do it. I don't know how these systems work. So we have to figure this out along the way. But we're really, really close at this point to having the moon colony considered online. So that's great. 4,000 rocket parts that this can store here, though. Wow. Okay. So let's just put this over there for now and see how this works. Again, we're going to revert this. Oh, this has people in it. Interesting. I want to set position on the moon. And we know that we want this to be at a particular latitude and longitude or very close to it. So this is going to be at 7 degrees by 155 west. 7 degrees north by 155 west. I believe that's negative 155. And then 7. Okay, yeah, too close to the ground. That's fine. We're going to be easing this to the ground. And we're just going to get ourselves to a better position using middle mouse click. So let's see if this works. Okay, where are we? Ah, there's our... We're about 3 kilometers away. So we'll head on over here. And I don't know if we're in the right orientation. That's going to be an interesting question as well. So we want to set this out over here. And I really want it to be, like, right up over here. Okay. Maybe actually over here, now that I think about it. Yeah, this will be fine. So now the question is one of orientation, right? Let's go ahead and open this and see how that ends up going. Actually, this orientation's kind of okay. We just need to let it settle here. Yeah. There we go. So this has got some liquid fuel and oxidizer. It's got some electric charge drain. Okay. So that's definitely noted. This has got some productivity to it. Cool. So now the question is, how do we link these together? Now, I know that there's a way that this can be done. Also, I'm wondering about life support in this launch pad. That's very interesting. So this does have its own landing system and 1501 meters per second with 12.79 thrust to weight. So this could be its own lander, in theory. That's good to know. But what this would need then is to be linked up over here. Now, I know that there's a way to do that with Kerbal attachment system. And Jeb has no life support right now. Come on, Jeb. This is not how we would deliver this, obviously. But I just want to bring Jeb up over here. That is not where I wanted Jeb to be. Turn on your... Jeb, why did you turn your RCS off? Okay. Jeb is having problems. Turn your RCS on, Jeb. There you go. He has no life support right now, and we want to make sure he's going to get in. This is the side with the hatch, isn't it? Wait, which side is the hatch side? Jeb. Jeb, what are you doing? Okay. Come on over here. This is the hatch side. Okay. No, Jeb. This is not where I want you to climb. And he turned his RCS off again. Wild stuff. So Jeb is having problems. RCS on. Come on, buddy. You can do it. There you go. Get in there. Now he's got some life support. Okay. So we're going to hop over to the pad now. There we go. And Bill Kerman, he's going to need to go get himself some life support as well. There's no life support here. So that's understood. Life support sold separately. So we're going to bring him up over this way. And... okay. Bill's also having some issues, but he's going to hop in right here. So we're going to grab and board. There we go. So they've all got life support now. Let's have Dunvan hop on out here. And Dunvan's goal is going to be to head over to the pad, and I know that there's a way that you can connect together these crafts, right? I know for a fact that you can do that with KAS, and I don't know how. So I'm going to have to investigate that, and we will figure it out. So we've got the inventory here. This is a KIS. So how do we utilize KIS to attach these two together? I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so after having done a little bit of research, you can see we're coming back in. We're physics easing this in just for the learning process here, and that's absolutely fine. So we brought this in, and now we need to open this. Oh, this is going to be potentially awkward. Might be a little too close. Actually, it's kind of fine. Okay, so there we go. And the reason we had to bring this back in was because, let's have Jeb EVA here real quick. If we look in Jeb's inventory here, you can see that he has got a couple of parts in here. And those parts are... Really, Jeb? Jeb is really struggling with this. Okay. Those parts are necessary. So we're going to hop on up over here. We're going to get them some life support. Again, I would bring this in quite a lot different. Jeb, why are you not able to beat gravity right now? Oh, it's because of the mass of these parts. Okay, that's interesting. That's certainly interesting. We're able to get up here, and we should be able to get in here. So that's fine. But yeah, that definitely... Oh, he turned off his RCS again. Jeb, can you stop turning off your RCS every time you climb? That'd be nice. Okay, so we're gonna get in here and we're gonna board so that he has some life support. Okay, back to the pad. We're gonna need to do the same thing with Bill. Now, Bill has the same parts in his inventory, just in case. So that's fine. He's going to hop on up over here eventually. Bill, you okay? There you go. Yeah, he's going to hop on up over here, and he's going to board so that he has life support as well. Perfect. So that's fine for now. What we need to do at this point is we need to have Dunvan EVA, and Dunvan is going to head on out over here. Now, I don't know if we need the drill to install these parts, but I'm assuming that we do. And I also don't know where the attachment points are going to be for them. So we're going to then go back over to one of these places, and we're going to find either Jeb or Bill. Here we go. And again, this is going to be reverted. So we're going to do this. There we go. RCS on, and we're just going to head on out over this way. So we're struggling to beat gravity with all this mass in our inventory, of course, but that's fine. So now we need Dunvan here, and Dunvan is going to go into the inventory of Bill. And I want to grab on out this guy. So we want to attach this if we can. Can we just attach this anywhere? Yes. So we want to attach this about here. Now, this is a resource transfer station, allowing the transfer of resources between vessels. So we just want to attach this approximately here. There we go. And then I'm going to grab this joint socket, which needs to be attached out over here, if we can. Will it let us attach it here? No, this part doesn't allow surface attachments. So we're going to have to do it up over here, but we're too far away. So for now, we'll just set it down over here, and we'll move on up. I'm assuming we need the drill to attach these, so that's absolutely fine. So we're going to grab this joint socket, and I'm going to attach it here. Okay. Now, grab connector. And do we have to get closer over here? Attach connector. Okay, so this is now in link mode undocked. We can change it to link mode docked, which the documentation indicated might summon the Kraken. So that is noted, and we will quick save just in case. At this point, these two vessels should be considered docked together now. So we'll hop into Untitled Spacecraft and we'll see, yeah, we're getting rocket parts over here. So that looks great. And the next question is, are we getting any life support over here? I don't know. That's interesting. Let's find out. So again, we're saved and we're going to revert this, but I want to, let's see, I think we board over here. I don't know how to board this launch pad. I'll be honest. Maybe it's supposed to be up here? Or something? Or maybe we're supposed to use the crew transfer by boarding here and then transferring over to here. That might actually work. Let's go ahead and try that as I break our solar panel. I was hoping to not do that. We're now a little bit bugged. This was expected and is reasonably fine. Like I said, we're going to revert this, so I'm not too concerned about it right now. Oh my. There's apparently a Kerbal attachment part up here. I think I accidentally put that in. There's an attach point way up there in the VAB. So I think I accidentally did that. Now, I don't know why we're currently hovering. Let's try jumping. Oh, no. Okay. So that's, you know, a bit problematic. We're going to have to, like, EVA prop ourselves down here. This is definitely a little buggy right now. Again, we're going to do this differently in reality. I just want to make sure that this is actually going to work before we, you know, send this over. So let's grab on here. There we go. And let's board. And now the question is, if we right-click on this launch pad, transfer crew. No crew on part. Okay. And this electric charge is dropping, but that's probably because our solar panel was broken. So let's extend this one and see if the electric charge is going up. It is now. Perfect. And let's check in the inventory here. Now we are seeing productivity. So if we check into the UI here, we can see that it looks like, yep, we have productivity now, and we have pad 1. So if we wanted to build this, that would cost us 149 rocket parts. Now we can actually store that many rocket parts, but we can change to a different craft that would hopefully require far fewer rocket parts. And to that end, we can... New. Okay. So let's say that we just want a place to put crew on here. So we would want to go down to, like, here, I think. Oh, that's not very sensitive on the scroll. Let's see, which one of these is it? It's in here somewhere. I'm looking for a crew cabin like this one. And I don't know how many rocket parts just that will require, but that's what we want to do. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do, though. There's definitely a crew cabin in here somewhere. I wish that the icons showed up correctly, but they don't, so that's, you know, a little awkward. There's no search option on here either, so we just kind of have to go through this until we find it. So the crew cabin is somewhere, for sure. I'm wondering if we actually have access to all of the parts here. This doesn't feel like this is quite all of them. Okay, so these are not crew cabins here. The actual crew cabin is under the utility category, which I think is this one. No, this is a scientific category. Okay. Maybe there's... here we go. This is what we're looking for. So we select this. We save this. Select part. No. Save. Save and close. That didn't seem to do anything. Yeah, that didn't seem to do anything. So that's not necessarily ideal. Let's hop into here again, and these are kind of freaking out, but it's okay. So at this point, I want to go into the UI again. Select craft under part. Now it's here. There we go. That's going to require 364 rocket parts for just that crew cabin. That's kind of a lot, but we can store that number of parts now. So we can hit this build button, and we can see this is going to take 8 days to build currently. Okay, so this is actually progressing. So that's very good. However, I still don't know how to get crew in here. There are no crew on this part right now. So we also don't have any, we don't have any life support on that part. So maybe we don't actually want to have crew in there. That's a distinct possibility. So it's going to take 8 days to build this part. And this is probably because our productivity is so low. Let's have Bill hop into here, and I want to not break this, ideally. So we're going to have to be pretty cautious here. We're going to grab this and board. Productivity remained the same, it looks like, unless we come in here and show UI. Okay, it did remain the same. Okay, so it looks like this is pad 0. This is pad 1. Gotcha. So, if we look at our vessel productivity, this might be because we do not have Kerbals in this. That's a distinct possibility. So, no crew on part right now. If I go back to the KAS wiki here... Yeah, I'm just taking a look at this and seeing... Use the docking mode. Yeah, okay. So it might have something to do with the mode that we're in here, whether we're in the docking mode or not. But for now, we're able to transfer parts over to here. The important parts are the electric charge and the monoprop. And I wonder if we're pulling out of the liquid fuel and oxidizer here. That's interesting. Let's keep an eye on this. So 282. Yes, we are pulling out of the liquid fuel and oxidizer there. Okay, so that's good to know. Definitely a little Kraken-y feeling, but not too bad. So this will eventually finish. That'll take 8 in-game days. And the question then is, why is our productivity so low? Well, we've only got 3 Kerbals in here right now, out of 4. And of those, one of them is a scientist, 2 are engineers. They're relatively low-rank engineers. I suspect that's our core issue with why this productivity is so low. 0.08, this is like almost 9% productivity. So it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll produce a part. Well, actually, we need to revert this, don't we? We do. We have to revert this back, but it's working. So that is working at this point. We have learned how this works. And yeah, see this joint socket up here? That was what I was seeing previously. So that works. I'm going to save this as the pad launcher. But we're going to need to actually deliver this thing properly next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.